Today, Nicki will be talking about the mysteries of Isis and Osiris. Please welcome to the show my very special guest, Nicki Scully. Welcome to the show, Nicki. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me, KG. I love talking with you.
Well, I love talking with you, too. The Egyptian mysteries of Isis and Osiris is one of the most famous of all time and has been retold since the ancient days of Egypt. Why is this, Nicki? What significance does the story of Isis and Osiris have for us today?
Well, there's really no mystery as to why it's such an important legend, because it has an appeal for everyone. It's the story of love and loss and redemption and regeneration. One of the most interesting things about this story that many people don't realize unless they make an in-depth study of the myth of Isis and Osiris is it's the story that precedes the story of Mary, Joseph, and Jesus. It is the divine union and conception that gives birth to the divine ruler. And it is, I believe that it may have been preceded itself by a more ancient mythology. I don't know the full story of Inanna, but I understand there are some similarities in the ancient Sumerian mythology. But generationally, it's very clear that the story of Isis and Osiris and their divine son Horus is very, very similar to the Christian story of Joseph, Mary, and Jesus. And the way that the story begins, if you go back far enough, it begins with the pregnancy of the goddess Nut, the sky goddess, who is in loving embrace with the planet Earth in the form of the sky god, of the Earth god, the original green man, Jeb. And it is the function of the atmosphere, the air, and the mist that are their parents, Tefnut and Shu, to keep them separated. Well, I'm not... at some point, they came together in a way that Nut conceived and began to gestate in her womb the five gods, the five Neteru that included Osiris, Set, Isis, Nephthys, and the elder Horus. And at the time that she conceived and became pregnant, according to the legend, Ra, who was the ruling deity of our solar system, was, according to the legend, supposedly very jealous at the idea of other gods coming, and felt that his rulership was being compromised through this pregnancy. In truth, I think that's a distortion in the way the myth has come down to it. As I've been led to understand it in my own more direct research, Ra, with his all-seeing eye, looked down upon the planet and realized that it was it was not time. The time was not right. The planet could not sustain life and consciousness at the level that would be required. And so what in the legend is said as not in my time, I believe was the time is not right. In any event, Thoth and his and one of the deities that he's very closely connected to, Khonsu, another god of the moon, as they say in the legend, gambled with Ra, some say. What, again, there's so many interpretations of what happened. What I believe happened, what I've come to comprehend, is that Thoth and Khonsu played a game similar to drafts, which was essentially going back to the drafting table to reconfigure how this conception was going to be carried to term. And it involved perhaps objects or cards like a game of chess or Go or Senet, the ancient Egyptian game, or what has come down as drafts. And it was an oracular pursuit to find the right timing. And what they were able to do is, and the legend would say, they won 5 days outside of time in which this birth could take place, or these births. These 5 days are called the epigomenal days. And at the time when this went down, there were only 360 days in the Egyptian calendar. And so with the addition of these 5 days, we came closer to our current 365-day calendar. And in those 5 days, each of the 5 gods that were developing in Nut's womb were able to be born. And so there is a celebration for each of those days in ancient Egypt. The 5 epigomenal days are really important. And during the time that they were in the womb, they were in there so long that Isis and Isis were, well, all 5 of the siblings developed within the womb. And Isis and Osiris fell in love in the womb and were bonded and married before they were ever born onto this planet. Set, the brother of Osiris that later murdered him, was very impatient and was said to have speared his mother's side to make a quick exit when it was his time to come out. And of the elder Horus, that he never really fully incarnated. And so he is the elder hawk god that ranges the sky from horizon to horizon. And when these siblings were born, Isis and Osiris were already wed, and they were given the green lands and the lands to the north of the Delta region, which were very fertile. And Set was married to Nephthys, and they were given the lands of the south and the desert, what were called the red lands. The north were called the black lands, the along the river.